Hi, welcome to Hanson Speed Shop. Today we're talking about what it takes, how much money it costs, and what's all involved in building custom Hot Wheels and doing YouTube videos. This is going to be, we're going to start out with what you need, and then we're going to move into for building the Hot Wheels, and then we're going to move into what it takes to do videos. And this is going to be catered to the new guy that thinks that I can't afford this, or this is going to be too much of my time, or there's no way I can afford all that equipment or whatever. And I'm here to tell you that if that's what you're thinking, it's just a bunch of bull, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that make it look like this is something that, you got to have thousands of dollars in, and it's, and that's totally not the case at all. And we're going to show you my whole setup, and I'm going to go through like the minimum of what you want, and then some things that you might want to get later on, and like the costs of everything. So it just kind of makes me mad, because I like to encourage people to get out and do stuff, and this is a fun hobby. It's an affordable hobby, and I think that more people should get into it. And not just this, but other things too. So we're going to go ahead and go through everything that, like, this is the bare minimum that you need to build custom Hot Wheels. And this is how to do it on a budget. Like, seriously, guys. You've seen my videos. You've seen the kind of cars I do, and they're in pretty good quality. And we're going to show you, like, what I use to do them. You could easily do this yourself. You just got to have the willpower. You got to want to do this. And you got to be, use some good old-fashioned elbow grease and some ingenuity, and you can get by with hardly anything. So let's take a look at what you need first. So as I was saying, if you watch a lot of things on YouTube, and not just with custom Hot Wheels, but like it could be building cars or building motorcycles or doing woodworking or whatever, welding, you name it, fabricating. This goes for anything. You watch shows on TV, you watch things on YouTube, and automatically people make it out like you got to have a fancy shop, you got to have all these tools, and you got to have all this crap that you really don't need. So like, just to get started, you're looking at, a couple grand, 100 grand, depending on what you're looking at. But like, that's just such a bunch of crap. So like, the average guy will never do anything because they have a false idea of like reality of what it takes to do stuff. And the reality is that you don't really need any of that. Would all that stuff be nice? Yes. Do you need it? No. So first, you got to want to be doing this. So my recommendation is start off small, get the bare minimum of stuff. That way, if it turns out, hey, this isn't something I like doing or whatever, you don't have a lot of money invested. And if you like follow my program here, you're not going to have that much money invested no matter what. So like, first you need a nice flat surface. Now this right here is actually just an old coffee table, and get creative with this. You don't got to go and buy like a couple $100 workbench, an old table. I built cars on top of an old wooden stool. I built cars on top of, the kitchen table, a countertop, an old desk. Get creative. You maybe find something in the garbage. So, right off the bat, you need a work surface, but you don't got to really spend any money there. Okay, so then you got your place where you're going to be working on it. Now, you're going to have to take the cars apart. So this is like a must. And you might already have this, but you're going to need a drill. Okay, so now this drill I bought, and it is a tool shop drill. Not an expensive drill. This was like 25 bucks. Okay, and I bought this thing 3 years ago. And I've used this on probably over 100 Hot Wheels and Matchbox, whatever. But I've also used this on tons of other metal projects and wood projects and, all kinds of stuff over the last 3 years. Never had any problems with it. Highly recommend it. It's a corded drill, obviously. which I like better. You don't got to worry about batteries and charging them and all that. Just plug it in, you're ready to rip. So, you know, if you might have a drill press, some guys use that, but again, then you're looking at more money, and you're looking at, like, you know, this you can use, take it outside, take it wherever you want to go. It's small, it doesn't take up a lot of space. I would recommend this, and you know, you might already have one. Okay, so you drill, you're looking at $20 to $30. We'll say 25 bucks. Then you're gonna need 2 drill bits, okay? So first you're gonna need this 3/32 drill bit. Usually these will come in a 2-pack, okay? And then you're gonna need a 9/64 drill bit. This will be to drill the center of your rivet out. This will be to drill the head off. So I'd recommend getting like at least a mid-grade bit. I've been using these same 2 bits, you know, that the one that's in the drill here, and then my 9/64 I got tied up here in the cord, literally for like 2 years now, and I haven't had a problem with them. So I mean, like, these will last a long time. Like, you can probably do 200 cars on a set of drill bits and you'll be fine. You know, a couple bucks, you can get a 2-pack of these and you're good for like a long time. So for under $30, you get your 2 drill bits. Okay, that's like, you gotta have that. Then, okay, next step, you got your car torn apart. Well, you gotta strip the thing. Now, there's a couple different ways of doing this. The cheapest, most low buck way to do that is get yourself some sandpaper, scuff up the factory paint job, and then just shoot right over the top of that. Now, is that going to look the best? Is that going to be like a show-stopping paint job? No. But if you don't, you know, if your standards aren't super high, you're just getting started, you don't have a lot of money, whatever, you just want to kind of practice or whatever, that's how I started. Like 15 years ago, when I started doing cars, I would just scuff the car up and paint over factory paint job. Easiest, cheapest way to do it. Okay, now if you actually want a nice quality, you're going to want to strip the paint off. So you're going to have to buy a paint stripper. You're usually looking at $10, $15 for a can of that. I actually have access at my job to do my stripping for free, so I don't really have to worry about that. But that's something you're going to have to look into. Okay, now you got your car stripped. Next step is painting the car. Do you need an airbrush, a compressor, and a spray booth? No, you don't. I mean, we're talking, you could spend hundreds of dollars on that, and do you need it? No. Does it turn out nice results? Yes, but it's totally unnecessary. Every paint job I've ever done since day one has been with spray cans, rattle cans, whatever you want to call them, and I've done them outside. Don't need a spray booth, don't need an airbrush, don't need a compressor. Sometime down the road, if you feel like you want to spend the money and do that, good. Can you make a spray booth out of an old cardboard box and a fan? Yes. I mean, get creative here. But so looking at, you know, paint, you know, like a can of model paint, you're going to look at like $4 or $5, okay? But this will last, you know, for a couple of cars. So if you want to get a color that you could use on multiple cars, that's an option. Otherwise, you can, you know, use like, this is just generic, you know, gloss enamel paint, you know, or you could use automotive paint. So you're going to be looking at spending $2 to $10 in that range for a can of paint, but they usually go, you know, quite a ways. Then you're going to want some detailing paint. I just use like this Testors model paint. You can get these for like $1.50. Sometimes they're on sale for a little bit cheaper, but you know, about $1.50 each. And you're gonna want at least 4 or 5 colors, like a black, silver, red, orange, you know, your basic detailing colors. And then you're also gonna obviously need some paint brushes. You can get a pack of like assorted brushes like this at Walmart for like a couple bucks, so that's not going to be that big of a deal. And then you're also going to need some paintbrush cleaner. You can get the little bottle for $1.50, or a bigger one for like $3. And then you're going to want some super glue. This is what I use. This is a little bit more expensive. I want to say it was like $4 or $5. You can get cheaper stuff. And then highly recommend getting some activator. This is something you don't need, but a good like super glue activator. Just so you're gonna save yourself time and headache. It just instantly dries it. Do you need that? No, but that's something maybe down the road, like pick that up. And then, getting back to painting the car, I see all these people using these super fancy like paint stands. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I use. And you've probably seen them on some of the videos before. But like, so these are what I use. Okay, now like when I talked about getting creative, this is what I'm talking about. You can get these alligator clips in like a 6-pack for 90 cents. And then just look around the house for some old cans, bottles, whatever. And then just, hook these on with a stick. Like you could literally make 20 paint stands for $3. And on top of that, they're good for the environment because you're recycling. So, I mean, you're killing two birds with one stone there. So, like, you're saving money on that. You don't need super fancy stuff. Some sandpaper would be nice. Like 1,000 grit to 1,500 grit, 2,000 grit. You're going to be looking at like maybe $5 or so for a pack of sandpaper. And then the other tools that you're going to want to have are some of these really little screwdrivers like this, which are nice for popping axles out or popping them back in. And you can literally get like a whole pack of these for like $1. So that's not a big investment. Always nice to have some markers, like some Sharpies around. And then you're going to want one of these little snippers like this. If you ever do anything with a metal-based car, you got to cut the prongs out to get the axles out. This was like $2 or $3. And that's really going to be what you need minimum for doing custom Hot Wheels. One thing that would be like a benefit to have if you're going to do any heavy customizing or just down the road is what we're going to get into right now. So like a Dremel or some type of knockoff like Harbor Freight Dremel would definitely be like a must. You don't need it when you're just starting out if you're just wanting to do repaints and detailing. Okay, so you're going to want a Dremel. Now this Dremel here, this thing is literally like 15 years old, and it has been through hell and back on just hundreds of cars and hundreds of other projects. But I mean, these things, you can really work them hard and they last a long time. So like for a Dremel, you're going to be looking at spending maybe $30 to $50 depending on which one you want to get. And they usually will come with some attachments. You can go a little bit cheaper and get like a knockoff one, like I said, like at Harbor Freight or any hardware place. So you usually have like an off-brand. But what you want to keep in mind is the whatever off-brand it is will only work with their accessories, just like the Dremels will only work with Dremel accessories. And then the accessories you're going to want are like some cutting, sanding, and grinding. Usually you can get like a nice value pack. That's the best way to go. Spend maybe like $10-15 and get, a good variety of that. So you're going to be looking at spending $40 to $60 for a Dremel and everything you're going to need at minimum. But, this is kind of something that you can use on a lot of other stuff, and it's just nice to have, period. So that's something you might want to consider. Also, just have like some tape around and things like that. And then also, if you want to do some really nice customizing, like some of this K&S wire and tube, you can usually get a pack for like a couple bucks. It's not super expensive, but you can get really creative with that. So that's an option. Otherwise, just like, some scissors, pliers, tweezers, um, just depending on your situation of what you're working on, you might need some of that stuff. But so basically, this is my setup. So, like, that's really all you need. Okay, so now let's say you're building cars for a while and you decide you want to start doing YouTube videos. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. Then I gotta buy like a $1,500 camera, and I gotta have a $2,000 computer, and then I gotta have all this editing equipment. I gotta have all this lighting and sound equipment, and oh my God, forget about it. I'm not doing that. Well, again, that's just a total bunch of crap. Now, yeah, will all that make a really nice high quality video? Yeah, but do you really need all that? Not really. All my videos are done on my phone. All my editing is done on my phone. And we're going to look at like my lighting literally. I know it's kind of shitty, but like we're talking old lamps that I found in the garbage, and then I have them hanging, from the ceiling. I have this light, which was like 10 bucks, but this is a nice light. It doesn't weigh a lot, and I can move it around and stuff. But get creative. You find some stuff in the garbage, and work with what you got. Don't let your budget or your situation keep you from doing stuff. Because if you want to do something bad enough, you'll figure out a way to do it. And then like my drag strip up here that I do like all my final unveils on. That whole thing I made myself for like $10 or $15. Not including the cars that are on there, but like the whole thing itself spent like 10 or 15 bucks to make that. So I hope this video helped some people out and maybe showed you that, hey, this is something that I could do, or like I don't need all that fancy stuff. You just have a little bit of talent, some ingenuity, and a want to do it, and you can get by and you can do some really cool stuff and have a lot of fun. So I hope, like I said, I hope this inspired some people. I know this video wasn't for everybody. This is more for the average guy that wants to start doing this and doesn't have a lot of money, or maybe was kind of scared from things he's seen, like this is going to be too much or whatever. But start small, get the basics. That way, if you don't like it or whatever, you're not into it for a lot. If you do like it, then start getting more stuff as you go along. You don't need everything right off the bat. And then as far as like building the cars, average car you can have as little as $2 into, and then anything on up from there, just depending on how crazy you want to go, like with anything else. So that is basically going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you're going to actually get out and do this and have some fun. And then if you do cool stuff, share it with people. Get them involved and, keep growing things, because that's what it's really all about. So on that note, get out, work on your own projects, get your hands dirty, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.